Alright, how's it going, everybody? It's Mandar, and welcome to another episode of Mass Effect 2. I'm going the wrong way. Last time we did Grunt's mission, which is a pretty cool, relatively short mission. Some interesting things to talk about dealing with, the Krogan as a race. So if you want to check that out, just check the last episode. This time we're going to do Mordin's Loyalty Mission, and which in addition to being a fun mission, I think the ultimate decision you have to make at the end is kind of interesting, and I have some thoughts on that, which hopefully you'll indulge me for a bit, and then feel free to tell me I'm an idiot in the comments if you decide to leave a comment or whatever, but let's do it.
Shepard, important news. Know you're busy. Have to deal with the collectors. Planning attack. Too important to wait. Just receiving data. Still processing, analyzing likely scenarios. Not sure how to begin. Too much intel. You know about the Genophage?
Only about one Krogan pregnancy in 1,000 leads to a live birth, thanks to a Salarian virus.
Right. Virus released 1,000 years ago, controlled Krogan population ever since. All public knowledge, but I know more. Recent generations of Krogan started adapting. Genophage losing effectiveness.
Last time the Krogan population exploded, they tried to take over the galaxy. I doubt they've gotten nicer.
Exactly. Social extrapolation suggested war as only possible outcome of Krogan population increase. Personally led a team, created new version of Genophage, released it on Tuchanka, other colonies, restabilized Krogan population.
Nice job. I can see why Cerberus brought you on board.
Very difficult, yes. Complex work to stabilize population. Mistake could have wiped out species. Glad to see you understand. Had to be done.
Damn right.
The Krogan would be a danger to the whole galaxy if the Genophage was cured.
Exactly. Best solution for everyone, even Krogan. Can discuss more later. More pressing issue now. Blood Pack mercenaries captured former team member Maylon. Last seen on Tuchanka. Might torture him, make an example. Recovering Maylon would be a personal favor to me.
Do you think they found out your team updated the Genophage?
Unclear. No way to determine until we get to Tuchanka.
We'll go to Tuchanka and see if we can find your team member.
Appreciate it. My assistant, my student, want to see him safe. Maylon last seen outside Erdnot territory. Scouts might have seen Blood Pack. Talk to them or clan chief.
Word. Alright, based on one of the things Mordin just said, I had some thoughts on. We're going to save it until we're actually in the middle of the mission, because Mordin kind of elaborates on a few of the things he said.
Jack would like to talk with you.
Kelly, he's starting to get on my nerves. Oh, wait.
What do you want, human? Wrex told me to be polite. He didn't say you were going to talk to me.
I'm looking for a Salarian. The Blood Pack captured him and he was last seen around here.
I heard about that Salarian, poor bastard. If it's Blood Pack, then Clan Warelock has him. Sent one of my scouts to check it out, but he never reported back. Guess they got him too. Chief told me to give you one of the trucks. Just follow the highway to Warelock's base if you've got the quads to deal with him in the Blood Pack.
Let's go.
Nothing can hurt me.
Yep.
One down. We'll stay close.
Got it.
Alright.
Repurposed Krogan Hospital. Sturdy, built to withstand punishment.
About Krogan Hospital, built to withstand punishment. Right, that's the way out. Right down here.
That body, human. Need to take a look. Sores, tumors, ligatures showing restraint at wrists and ankles, track marks for repeated injection sites. Test subject, victim of experimentation.
I don't suppose there's a way to tell who this poor bastard was?
No tattoos or ID. Maybe slave or prisoner, maybe merc or pirate. Irrelevant now. Clearly part of Krogan tests to cure Genophage. Humans useful as test subjects, genetically diverse, enables exploration of treatment modalities.
Wouldn't something native to Tuchanka work better? Varen, maybe?
Yes, human experiments strictly high-level concept testing. Native Tuchanka fauna likely used later in development stages. Wise to delay use of Varen until necessary. Powerful bite.
What can you tell about their experiments from looking at the body?
Position of tumors suggests deliberate mutation of adrenal, pineal glands, modifying hormone levels, counterattack on glands hit by Genophage. Clever.
Do you think they're close to curing the Genophage?
Can't say. Need more data. Conceptually sound, though. Genophage alters hormone levels, could repair damage with hormonal counterattack.
How are humans more genetically diverse?
More variable. Peaks and valleys, mutations, adaptations, far beyond other life. Makes humans useful test subjects. Larger reactions to smaller stimuli.
I know we can look much different from each other, but Asari have a wide range of skin tones.
No, ignore superficial appearance, down to genetic code. Biotic abilities, intelligence levels. Can look at random Asari, Krogan, make reasonable guess. Humans, too variable to judge. Outliers in all species, of course. Geniuses, idiots. But human probability curve offers greater overall variety.
Experimenting on humans? That kind of crap is what makes Cerberus start to seem like a good idea.
Never used humans myself. Disgusting, unethical, sloppy. Used by brute force researchers, not thinkers. No place in proper science. Krogan use of humans, unsurprising.
It's a little bit racist, but whatever. We'll ignore that.
I imagine you had to do some live subject testing while developing the new Genophage.
No, unnecessary. Limited tests to simulations, corpses, clone tissue samples. High-level tests on Varen. No tests on species with members capable of calculus. Simple rule, never broke it.
So that's a couple of things to note there. That's an example of, Mordin clearly has a line. He was willing to do the experiments to a point, but, he has that line. No live test subjects, or at least no live sentient test subjects. Although I guess you could argue maybe Varen being, have a certain degree of intelligence, and maybe they're close to sentience, but not really. That will come into play later, and the human diversity thing, that's another hint at the deal with the collectors, and the Reapers, why the interest in humans. That was a plot point that was pretty important throughout the, or at least, in the background of the series, after humans, defeated Sovereign, the interest in humans. All the good stuff that unfortunately didn't really matter much by Mass Effect 3, but whatever.
Now we've got 2 reasons to shut this place down.
Focus on Maylon. Too late to help the dead.
Oh, this scene.
I am the speaker for Clan Warelock, Offworlders. You have shed our blood. By rights, you should be dead already. But Warelock Gold, the Chief of Chiefs, has ordered that you be given leave to flee and spread the message of our coming.
If I flee, I might trip over the dozen Krogan I killed to get here. I think I'll take my chances.
You killed our youngest and weakest human. They were not worthy of remaining near our glorious work. Inside, you will find only hardened blood-pack veterans, tempered by savagery and war, and dedicated to one goal. The Salarian will cure the Genophage, and Clan Warelock will spread across the galaxy in a sea of blood.
Appears they discovered Maylon's work. Unfortunate.
It doesn't have to happen like this. I can understand wanting to cure the Genophage.
No, human, you understand nothing! You have not seen the piles of children that never lived. The Krogan were wronged. We will make it right, and then we will have our revenge!
If you care about the future of Clan Warelock, you'll hand over Maylon. Now.
When we cure the Genophage, Warelock Gold will rule all Krogan. The Krogan rebellions will become the Krogan Empire. The surviving race...
Yeah, that's pretty good.
See? The human cannot hit a simple target.
Bad way to go. Keep in mind the few things that that Warelock was saying for later. Just put it in the back of your mind. The things that they were planning to do were they to have the cure to the Genophage.
Tell you avenge.
Yes. Can't reach the target. Can't get a lock. Can't target them. Can't get a lock. Can't reach the target. Can't get a lock.
Alright. I know I'm playing like a total noob, but I kind of want to just, you know, get through these parts. Give me it. Now I'm stuck.
Active console may contain useful data. One moment. Genetic sequences. Hormone mutagens still steady. Protein chains, live tissue, clone tissue. Very thorough. Standard treatment vectors. Avoiding scorched earth immunosuppressants to alter hormone levels. Good. Hate to see that.
Most people wouldn't be so casual about developing a sterility plague, Mordin.
Not developing, modifying, much more difficult, working within confines of existing Genophage, 100 times the complexity. Errors unacceptable, could cause total sterility, malignant tumors, could even reduce effectiveness, worse than doing nothing. Had to keep Krogan population stable, 1 in 1,000, perfect target, optimal growth, like gardening.
Like gardening. I'm not calling Mordin a heartless bastard.
You're saying you were working just as hard to keep their population from falling?
Yes, could have eradicated Krogan, not difficult, increased mutation to degrade genetic structure further, chose not to. Rachni extinction tragic, didn't want to repeat. All life precious, universe demands diversity.
Universe demands diversity. That's a very interesting point you just raised, Mordin. Universe demands diversity. Wow. Well, Mordin, I mean, as enlightened of an opinion that is, I think the only way, unfortunately, for our salvation is for us to remove that diversity, implanting us all with, you know, synthetic materials, thus reducing that diversity, and, yeah, well, it was a good idea, Mordin. It was good. It was a good idea. But, sorry.
What was it like working on the Genophage modification project?
Best years of my life. Wake up with ideas, talk over breakfast, experiments all morning. Statistical analysis in afternoon, run new simulations during dinner, set data runs to cook overnight. Laughter, ego, argument, passion, galaxy's biggest problem, massive resources thrown at us. Got anything we wanted.
Do you keep in touch with your old team members?
No. All changed with deployment. Made test drop on isolated Krogan clan, hit rest of Tuchanka when results were positive. End of project. Separate ways. Watching it end, watching birth rates drop. Personal. Private. Not appropriate for team.
Sounds like you were pretty important. How'd you go from that to running a clinic on Omega?
Wanted to heal people. Good use of last decade. Something easy. No ethical concerns. Understand rationale for modified genophage. Right choice. Still. Hard to sleep some nights.
Oh man, Maury. That's another thing right there. So many people think like, oh, you're just cold and calculating when you make like something like just a renegade decision, as an example. You're just obviously just doing it for the sake of doing it. You don't actually care about things. Like, so people realize, like a lot of times it doesn't necessarily mean that, like, people revel in these types of decisions that like, oh yeah, this was awesome, this was totally what we should have done, and like we're awesome for doing it. No, a lot of people, like, doesn't mean you don't care, and like Mordin's a great example of that. Sometimes we do it because we have to do it and no one else is going to do it, and if we don't do it, it's not going to get done. You don't feel good about it, but you do it.
Sounds like you were pretty important.
Oh shit.
Wanted to heal. Understand rationale for modified genophage. Right choice.
How can you agree with using the genophage?
Why did I say that?
Krogan choices. Genophage medical, not nuclear. No craters from virus. Damage caused by Krogan, not Salarians, not me.
Sorry, Mord, I didn't mean to say that.
So if the Krogan banded together and formed a united government, you'd welcome that?
Yes. United Krogan saved Galaxy. Destroyed Rachni. Genophage, not punishment, simply alters fertility to correct for removal from hostile environment.
Alright, let's move on.
We're not gonna find Maylon staring at consoles. Come on.
I'm tired of looking at consoles and talking about philosophy and morality. Let's get out of here. Save the consoles and the philosophy talk for school, bookworm.
You killed the Bloodpack guards.
Not Bloodpack, not member of Clan Warelock. Wrong clan markings.
I'm a nerd, not scout. Warelock guards got me. Brought me here.
The chief scout told us to watch for you. We've taken out the guards. Get back to Erdnot.
I can't. The Warelock did things to me. Drugs. Injections. Said I was sacrificing for the good of all Krogan. Experiments to cure the genophage. Everything's blurry. Hard to think. Have to stay.
Mordin, can you get him back on his feet? Stims, maybe? Something to bolster his immune system?
You don't understand. I'm not too sick to leave. I have to stay. They're curing the genophage. They're gonna make it all better. They have to keep doing the tests.
Caution, Shepard. Patient unstable, susceptible, brainwashed.
Why do you want them to keep doing the tests?
This is my fault. I got caught. Wasn't strong enough. Not good enough. This is the best I can do. This is all I can do. I'm not big enough to have a real shot with the females. I'll never have kids of my own. But if I help undo the genophage, then I mattered.
Renegade!
You've got a bruised ego. You got caught and beaten, so you tell yourself it was for something important.
That's not true. I need to stay. They're gonna cure us all.
You're not a real Krogan. When a real Krogan gets knocked down, he gets back up.
I did. I got back up every time they hit me. So many times.
You're lying there right now like a Vorcha grubbing in the mud. You gonna just lie there, Vorcha?
Screw you, human. Nobody says that to me. Nobody keeps me down.
Damn right they don't. Now get back to Clan Erdnot and report in. Go. Go!
Nicely done. Fortunately, subject is unlikely to be contagious.
Is it? Yeah, I knew I missed something.
Dead Krogan, female. Tumors indicate experimentation. No restraint marks. Volunteer. Sterile Warelock female willing to risk procedures. Hoped for cure. Pointless. Pointless waste of life.
What was pointless? Her volunteering or the doctor's experiments?
Both. Her mistake forgivable. Theirs not. Rest, young mother. Find your gods. Find someplace better.
I didn't expect spirituality from you, Mordin.
Genophage modification project altered millions of lives, then saw results. Ego, humility, juxtaposition, frailty of life, size of universe. Explored religions after work completed. Different races. No answers. Many questions.
Sounds like you were trying to deal with your guilty conscience. The doctor who killed millions.
Shepard,
Modified
God damn it.
Genophage project great in scope. Scientifically brilliant. But ethically difficult. Krogan reaction visceral. Tragic. Not guilty, but responsible. Trained as doctor. Genophage affects fertility. Doesn't kill. Still, caused this. Hard to see big picture behind pile of corpses.
Can you get any information from the body?
Minimal insight into experiments. Gene therapy. Risking cancer, aiming for benign mutation. Krogan researchers ruthless. Risking own clan's women for new data. Disgusting. Short-sighted. Wrong.
We
Nope.
need to find Maylon and
Damn
shut
it.
this place down.
I didn't get the renegades I wanted out of that.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Man.
Can't target them.
I'm in trouble!
Right on your ass.
Alright, that was kind of a cluster. But whatever. Don't tell me I locked myself in here. Alright, here we are.
Maylon. Alive, unharmed. No signs of restraint, no evidence of torture. Don't understand.
For such a smart man, Professor, you always had trouble seeing evidence that disagreed with your preconceptions. How long will it take you to admit that I'm here because I wish to be here?
He wasn't kidnapped. He came here voluntarily to cure the genophage.
Impossible. Whole team agreed. Project necessary.
How was I supposed to disagree with the great Dr. Solus? I was your student. I looked up to you.
Experiments performed here. Live subjects, prisoners, torture and executions. You're doing?
We've already got the blood of millions on our hands, Doctor. takes a bit more to put things right, I can deal with that.
You honestly think the experiments you did here are justified?
We committed cultural genocide. Nothing I do will ever be justified. The experiments are monstrous because I was taught to be a monster.
Mordin, did you ever perform experiments like this?
No. Never taught you this, Maylon.
So your hands are clean. What does it matter if the ground is stained with the blood of millions? You taught me that the end justified the means. I will undo what we did, Professor. The only way I know how.
Oh man, you misguided fool.
What happens if the Genophage is cured and the Krogan expand again? That'll be on your head.
We justified this atrocity by saying the Krogan would cause havoc and war if their population recovered. But look at the galaxy. Batarian attacks in the Traverse, Geth attacks in the Citadel. Is this a more peaceful universe? The assault on your Eden Prime might never have happened if we had let the Krogan recover. We'll never know.
He might. Oh,
How would a Krogan population explosion have done anything to stop Saren and the Geth?
An increased Krogan population would have forced the Council to take steps, likely involving colony rights in the Traverse. The Turian fleets would be vigilant for any military activity in the area. They might have stopped the Geth at Eden Prime.
Supposition. Impossible to be certain.
Don't you see? We tried to play God and we failed. We only made things worse, and I'm going to fix it.
I mean, that is, like, well, he does have a point, yeah, I mean, that is kind of just supposition, but...
You talked about killing, but the Genophage isn't lethal. It only affects fertility rates.
Krogan fight over fertile females. They become mercenaries or pirates because they see no alternative. They would be thriving in a cultural renaissance now had we not decided that this is what they deserved.
Inaccurate. Krogan population resulted in war. Simulations were clear.
Why work with Clan Warelock? And how did you access the Genophage data?
The data was easy to obtain. We all still had clearance. We were heroes. All I had to do was ask. As for the Warelock, they were the only clan with both the resources and the commitment.
Erdnot has a larger camp than Warelock. Why not use them?
Erdnot Wrex is too soft. He wasn't willing to do the experiments I needed. It's Erdnot's loss and Warelock's gain. Their clan will be the first to recover from the crime we committed.
Oh, so Erdnot thought that these experiments were unacceptable. Strange how if you do decide not to keep the data in Mass Effect 3, Wrex has a huge problem with you. In fact, you basically need to prove your loyalty to him all over again. It's almost like the writers weren't paying attention in certain areas of the game, or weren't taking the previous games into account. Strange. But,
We're shutting your lab down, Maylon.
Shutting down more than that.
You can't face the truth, can you? Can't admit that your brilliant mind led you to commit an atrocity!
Unacceptable experiments. Unacceptable goals. Won't change. No choice. Have to kill you.
sorry, kid.
Apologies, Commander. Misunderstood mission parameters. No kidnapping. My mistake. Thank you.
Are you okay?
Don't worry about me, Mordin. How are you doing?
Disappointed. Thought Maylon better than that. Never suspected he'd go so far. Knew he was young, impressionable. Should have talked to him after. Gotten him through guilt.
You dealt with your issues by opening a medical clinic. He started experimenting on prisoners. You did the right thing.
Right, wrong, irrelevant. Maylon dead, problem solved. Maylon's research, only loose end. Could destroy it. Closure, security. Still valuable, though.
If you think it could be useful, why not hang on to it?
Worked for years to create modified Genophage. Should destroy this. Maylon's work could cure Genophage. Don't know. Effects on Krogan, effects on Galaxy. Too many variables. Too many variables.
So yeah, before we get into the main thing, I just wanted to go back to, remember I said, like, what we learned about Warelock, especially from that speaker of the clan, where they were talking about, oh, we'll raise a new army or whatever, we'll eat Salarian eggs as delicacies. So keep in mind that Maylon, yeah, like, maybe there is some degree of, for the greater good in curing the Genophage, but he had little to no regard for how that information might be used, considering the fact that he was working with a clan that was clearly bent on revenge. So clearly, Maylon was just working for just the science sake, rather than, you know, like, if we're going to do this, let's do it right. Let's make sure we have as minimal damage as possible. Let's not use, you know, live test subjects. Let's do this purely, you know, to do something good, you know, not crossing the line like Mordin refuses to. You know, he never used live test subjects. It was purely to benefit the galaxy as a whole, like, you know, not to exterminate the Krogan, but, you know, which they could easily do, but, you know, stabilize their population. But anyway, this other thing, this is kind of like a non-choice, I feel. Like, you know, obviously I get, you know, this is just my opinion, I'm just going to stress again, but some people might think, you know, to take the data in this situation is condoning all the horrible things that happen to achieve that data. I completely disagree with that. The question of whether or not using this data was worth the tortures and the executions and stuff and the horrible experiments, that's not the question here. All that stuff already happened before we got here. That stuff, there's nothing that we can do to change that. It has happened, and it always will have happened. Like, not using the data, not taking the data and using in this situation is not retroactively making those horrible abominations, you know, cease to have happened. So that's the wrong way to look at it, in my opinion. And I think, again, that if there is any chance, even the smallest bit of usable information from this data, that even if it's just as simple as what not to do in the future, or what experiments, you know, didn't work, you know, to avoid making, you know, certain mistakes in the future, you got to use the data. Because otherwise, you know, all those lives and all those people that were horribly tortured and went through all those hardships basically went through all that stuff for nothing. And I think to not use this data is essentially allowing people to, you know, accepting the possibility that more people will die in the future, or we'll be able to save fewer lives in the future, for basically so you can feel good about yourself. So you can feel like, oh, I didn't use this information, that, you know, I said no to all these horrible experimentations that I had absolutely nothing to do with. So, you know, if we're not able to cure people of horrible diseases in the future, that's okay, because, you know, at least I was on the moral high ground. And I just think that's not a good way to look at things. I think you do have to check your morality at the door in certain situations, and I think, really, I don't really consider it being on the moral high ground to do that. I think you're really just doing it more out of spite, so you can, you know, have this misguided sense of, you know, being right about stuff, as opposed to doing something good for a greater number of people, larger, you know, and being part of something larger than yourself. So, really, I think there is 99.99999%, sorry, I misspoke there. There is literally like less than 1% logic behind not taking this data in this point. So I think it's a non-choice. Destroy the data, hold on to the data.
Keep the data. Better to have it and not need it.
Point taken, Shepard. Capturing data. Wiping local copy. Still years away from cure, but closer than starting from scratch. Done. Ready to go. Ready to be off Tuchanka. Anywhere else. Maybe somewhere sunny.
I'd like to look around a bit more.
Sweet. Awesome. Great mission. Again, like, I'm interested to think what you guys have to say about that with relation to the data. If you think I'm 100% wrong, I mean, by all means, tell me about it. But, I mean, don't expect me to change my mind about this. I defer you to what I said earlier. Not change my mind about that.
Still hard to believe Maylon betrayed me. Betrayed my work. Disgusted by his actions. Proud of his nerve, though. Almost thought he lacked backbone. Shame I had to kill him. Might have made a good member of the team. Willing to get his hands dirty.
You're really at peace with what happened?
Yes, of course. Can't change what happened. Life continues. Back to mission, back to work. Become like Maylon otherwise. Salarian emotional processing faster than other species. Has to be. Short-lived culture can't spend time reminiscing.
Maylon didn't seem like he processed his emotional response. He was obsessed with the Genophage.
True, didn't mean to imply that Salarians were healthier emotionally, can still make wrong choices, bad decisions from grief, anger, guilt. Maylon couldn't accept feelings. Made decision, executed. Probably before I left for Omega. Wish I'd seen it. Salarians still feel, just resolve it quickly. Explains lack of marriage, can't sustain courtship emotions. Or perhaps based on reproduction. Unsure.
So you really don't feel bad at all about what happened on Tuchanka?
Yes, correct. Now at least. Greatly distressed at the time. Stages of grief, loss, anger, rationalization. Dealt with it. Most issues settled on Tuchanka, some on shuttle back to Normandy.
What about Maylon's data on the Genophage? His attempts at a cure?
What about it? Have it over there somewhere. Not dealing with it now. Need to focus on collectors. Not important now, regardless. Appreciate you helping me back on Tuchanka. Should get back to work. Wasted enough time already. Lots to do. Talk later?
Alright, so that's good. You know, Mordin kind of said something that was sort of reiterating my point that I was making earlier in my huge ramblings there, you know. Yeah, can't change what happened. Like, you know, it was a horrible thing. Yeah, okay, alright. Kelly, will you please stop interrupting me? It was a horrible thing that happened to all those Krogan, you know, males and females, but we can't do anything about it, so is there a chance we can have some good come out of it? Can we do something for the betterment of the galaxy? Then let's go do that. That's something you can do. Too many people think, oh, you know, there's only one morality here. You know, like A always equals B. If something horrible happened, and there's no chance anything good come out of it, it's never acceptable. A, right is always right and wrong is always wrong. And like, it's just not how life works. You know, like, in my opinion at least, you know, and yeah, like, in another person's hands other than Mordin, maybe I wouldn't trust that that data could be used correctly. Just like I couldn't trust that, you know, somebody like the Krogan and Clan Warelock could be trusted to use a Genophage cure for the betterment of all their people. You know, they would clearly just be out for revenge and, you know, it possibly be a worse situation than it was before the Genophage, you know, like I alluded to earlier. So, you know, it's not, you have to consider the variables in every situation, and it's not just blue Paragon or red Renegade. There's shades of pink, I guess, and yellow and green for the blue. I don't know, whatever. That I'm gonna end my little rant mini lecture thing or whatever there for no, let's not call it a lecture, because I'm as much of an idiot as anybody else. Like, in fact, 90% chance more so an idiot than anybody else. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, if you didn't completely hate my go nowhere ramblings, remember to leave a like, share your thoughts with me. This one in particular, I'm interested to see what people have to say about experimentation and using that information for the greater good. You know, if you got thoughts on that, let me know about it, or anything else having to do with this game or the Mass Effect series. Leave it in the comments, and yeah, obviously subscribe. Catch you guys on the next time. We're probably gonna go hit up Samara's mission and see what's up with that. Okay, bye.